Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I am your host, Ron Dichter. Today we are in for such a special treat. We have a guest who I've had the honor and privilege of knowing for the last few years, Dr. Michelle M. Camacho, the distinguished scholar, change maker, and the Dean of the College of Social and Behavioral Science at University of Utah. Michelle, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you.
It's so great to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation, Ron. I'm looking forward to our time together.
So let's just get right into it. Our audience covers a pretty wide range of people, from business owners to entrepreneurs to people who are just getting started in maybe a new career change, and even, some recent graduates from colleges that are looking to get started. So you've got a pretty wide net of people that we're talking to here. So starting out, when you arrived at the University of Utah, what core goals or vision guided you in your first steps as the dean?
I think every new academic leader arrives with both a set of values that are informed by their own experiences, but also a vision that has been shaped by where they have previously served. Coming from the National Science Foundation and having served at the University of San Diego for over 2 decades, there were 3 core areas that I was really excited to amplify and build upon, because the University of Utah, as the flagship university in the state, of course, was already on a wonderful trajectory. And those 3 areas really had to do with working creatively with faculty to amplify interdisciplinary initiatives and to develop new strategic research areas of priority. Working together with the local community and meeting community members to enhance community engagement and build out partnerships, both for the benefit of our undergraduate and graduate students, but also for faculty members who were already doing that kind of work and really living up to the mission of the College of Social and Behavioral Science, which is inspiring solutions to human challenges. And then finally, given my time at the National Science Foundation, I think there was an expectation that I could really help drive grant activity, bring in new resources. I love fundraising and engaging with new partners that want to be connected to the University of Utah. And so really leveraging my network at the federal level and thinking creatively about how we can bring in new research revenue streams to the University of Utah. Those were my 3 aims and core goals. And then finally, I would say, really at every institution that I've worked, I'm always really committed to bringing people together, trying to spark synergies, break down artificial boundaries and silos across academic disciplines, and get people to feel really excited about their work by showcasing their work and bringing them together so that they can share their joy with others. And in that way, really bring a new set of energies and prospective collaborations together. That's what's been really most rewarding.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, that's a big, a big goal. Like, when three things, like, okay, this, and this, like, that's a lot. Like, you have very ambitious. So as you got started, were there initial challenges or maybe even opportunities that helped shape your early leadership priorities there?
Well, whenever you come to a new place, the challenge for a new leader, especially coming to a new state, is really understanding the context, the history, preserving and amplifying those traditions that are so closely held to the heart, but also thinking creatively about change. And we talk about change in the context of innovation. And so change in academia tends to happen, we say, at a glacial pace, pretty slowly. But it doesn't mean that we're starting from ground zero, because, of course, faculty, and especially in the social sciences, we study change. We engage in research that's all about societal changes. And so for me, learning all about the talent, both within the college, but also outside. And then thinking about how can I bring people together? Because in the university of this size, having a medical school and a health science campus adjacent and co-located gives us so many opportunities. And yet there are tendencies in academia to be very siloed. And so one of the biggest challenges was thinking about how can we bring people together and break down some of those silos. So I started in my own college by bringing people together for flash research talks across different academic disciplines, introducing people to one another by hosting town halls, social events. That has been very personally rewarding. And then getting to know the Utah community, I have had wonderful team members that have helped me organize these community conversations so that I could really delve deeply by listening to what are the ways that the University of Utah can serve the public. Because as a public institution, we have a mandate to do that, and not just to bring people here, but also to extend our resources beyond our institutional walls. So what I have seen is that we have massive transformational potential. We are doing a really great job on moving the needle. And I'm really excited to tell you about some of the actual changes that have been enacted under my leadership in collaboration with these brilliant faculty members that I am so happy to serve.
Well, you can't stop there then. So tell me about some of those short-term successes. Like have there been, little wins that you've had along the way that have really helped affirm kind of what you're doing as you step into this role?
Yes, definitely. So um, some of the efforts really have revolved around our conversations related to strategic planning and figuring out what do we want to do to enhance our undergraduate student success, amplify the opportunities for our graduate students, build out new graduate programs, professional masters, for example. And then on the research side of the house, identifying what are our current strengths and how can we invest resources to really amplify those. So on the student success side, we have been in partnership with a whole set of new initiatives that are also being catalyzed university-wide to improve our advising by bringing more advisors together in a hub. Our college already had a shared advising structure, which prevented gaps in any kind of student support. And now we have expanded that. So we're in partnership with the College of Science and the College of Humanities. I work with my advancement team and fundraising team to bring in more scholarships for students. And that has been incredibly successful. And I'm so grateful to everyone, yourself included, who have been wonderful supporters of our college and of our students. And then working with faculty and departments to build out new programs. So we have a new, in the Department of Family and Consumer Studies, we have a new professional master's in financial planning that was just approved. The Department of Geography and the Program of Environment and Sustainability merged. So we created a new School of the Environment, Society, and Sustainability, and they are launching a new professional master's program in environmental data science, which will have elements of AI to really help students become prepared for the emergent workforce needs. We also created a brand new School of Public Affairs, which will be the first flagship in the state of Utah set of programs that offer a Master's of Public Administration, Master's of Public Policy, and an innovative Master's of International Affairs and Global Enterprise. So those are just a sample. We also created a new living learning program that's called SALT, kind of after the Great Salt Lake, but it stands for Sustainable Action Learning Together. So that is a new living learning program in the dorms for our incoming students. And then the aim of these research conversations has been to really identify what are our shared strengths across the college. And we have 5 of them. One of them is in climate change. So the work of our snow scientists, glaciologists, our work on environmental hazards, all of the work that's happening in the departments of anthropology and in the School of the Environment. That's riveting. We also house the Behavioral Health Innovation Dissemination Center. It's a mouthful, but basically it provides all of the training and research related to mental health services. And I'm delighted that we were able to open 2 clinics, free clinics that are bilingual, offer bilingual mental health services in Salt Lake City, that are available to the public. And those clinics also offer training services for students in social work, in the med school, in nursing. So that has been a wonderful example of a partnership with a community and with our campus. And then elevating the research on families, because families are a theme that our demographers study, our partners in the research on gerontology, on caregiving, and then our commitment to understanding challenges that families are experiencing in society. All of those are under that umbrella of Family Matters. And then I brought in a $2 million grant to develop a data science initiative for our college, which provides training for students. We're in our first year of that grant, and that was sponsored by the National Science Foundation. I'm so grateful for their support. And then amplifying all of the excellent community engagement research that we've already been doing and expanding those opportunities to our undergraduate and graduate student populations. So those in a nutshell, I mean, that's really the heart of what I have been working on.
Just a couple of things, and then I like the dropping of the $2 million grant today. That there's a lot. You've done an amazing job. So I want to change and talk a little more personal just for a minute. So how is your, as your identity as the first Latina dean, really informed your leadership style and your presence within the institution?
I would say every academic leader has to distill for themselves a set of values that will guide their direction, guide their vision, and guide their commitment in higher education. And for me, those values include a commitment to access, a true commitment to academic persistence and helping students cross that finish line. Because once we bring them here, we want to make sure that they don't leave with a debt. We want to make sure that they graduate and have that social mobility available to them. And for me, I mean, I come from a very working class household, first gen Pell Grant recipient, daughter of a single mother. I learned at a very young age to be very hardworking. I've always worked, but I took typing and shorthand in high school, thinking that, I would become like a bilingual secretary or something like that. It's really through the support of wonderful mentors that have opened the pathway for me and helped me see the possibilities that I was able to graduate from college and then go on to graduate school. And certainly those are the reasons why I'm here and in this role, because I bring that commitment to offering those opportunities to students. And then, of course, the commitment to advancing science and promoting discovery and bringing researchers together. My PhD is interdisciplinary in cultural anthropology and in sociology, and I have a background in statistics. And thinking about how useful and creative and innovative my PhD programming was, but that was in the 90s. That was before any academic department was really ready for that. Now we have journals devoted to interdisciplinarity, conferences devoted to that, entire schools that put together intentionally those different perspectives in order to advance innovation. And so that's really baked into my intellectual formation. Yesterday, I was at an event. I met with a wonderful donor, Mark Skaggs, who contributed to this brand new building on campus, the Applied Science Building. And he was offering some remarks, and he shared that he has made significant investments, not just in Utah, but also in California. And he mentioned that it was through his funding of Mater Dei High School, which is in a low income area that attracts students who cross the border to attend, that many students who are first gen were able to have an educational experience that allowed them to go on to college. And I approached him and I shared with him that I am a graduate of Mater Dei High School. I was able to go there because of scholarship support. I was so moved by his commitment, because that's what really continues my motivation to engage with people who have that desire and that level of philanthropic interest and commitment to helping students who really share a lot of experiences that I grew up with, who want to and are curious about, um, you know, contributing to the talent workforce, but doing so in a way so that they have a number of opportunities. And by changing their own life trajectory, they also impact their family's trajectory, their community's trajectory, our society's trajectory. That's what's most moving to me, is being able to really think about it in a way of giving back.
Yeah, that's such a small world too that you graduated. It's
I
crazy.
know.
Uh, okay, so let's talk about kind of the lasting impact, if you will. So, as you look at the structural and cultural shifts, happening, that you've been focusing on, what do you believe will have a lasting impact?
Well, I think, you know, there are actually several areas. Thinking of creatively about student success, especially in the context of this changing landscape in higher education, we need to stay laser focused on student success. But what that means is certainly changing. And so working with my team to build out new initiatives that will be durable. I'm very committed to thinking about how we can increase the opportunities that students have in the community, working with industry partners, bringing industry partners to campus, having them help shape the student experience so that their professional formation is aligned with what some of the needs are. But at the same time, drawing upon and making sure that those traditional experiences, having a liberal arts, general education curriculum, that we're sustaining those and ensuring also fidelity to our disciplines. Because even though there is so much momentum around transdisciplinarity, it's very important still for students to understand the academic traditions and the knowledge that has been produced by specific academic disciplines. Because ultimately, students, when they come for their undergraduate experiences in particular, they are not just learning that academic content, they're also learning about who they are, who they will become. And those essential questions developmentally at this moment in their trajectories can spark those questions about, how will I serve society? How can I become more civically engaged? What are my values? And how can I continue to work towards the common good? Those are the kinds of critical questions that we aim to inspire students with, and then to provide all of the programming that sustain them to become those curious individuals that will be, very valuable contributors um, to our increasingly diverse social and cultural milieu.
Yeah. Yeah. So you talked earlier about breaking down silos, and I want to just kind of double click into that. So as you think of, approaching building buy-in across, a diverse academic community, like how do you drive collective progress there?
I very much believe in the principles of shared governance. That is, I would say, if you were to try to capture like what is the methodology of creating buy-in boil down to, I would say it's all about shared governance. And what that means is really producing and being intentional about creating a joint effort. I can't come in as the dean and say, we're going to do this, we're going to build out that, I like this idea. I can offer that, but really, what is going to move the needle is when other people bring those ideas to me. And then I have to think strategically, okay, what are the structures that might impede this? What are the resources that I need to mobilize to bring this dream forward? And that was the genesis of the School of Public Affairs. Some faculty members came and said, we really need this. And I thought, okay, well, what do we have that we can already contribute to that? And what do we need to bring in order to produce that? And so those are the kinds of things that really make me excited, working together with folks, trying to get the buy-in. And then, of course, a big piece of my job is thinking about all of the operations of the college. And this is a time where many of our efforts are um, being constrained. And so, but that is one of the areas that I have some control over because part of my job is fundraising. And so bringing in the resources and thinking creatively about how we can bring in new resources, even in the context of these budget cuts, and then serving as an advocate for the College of Social Behavioral Science and thinking about the partnership so that we can leverage existing resources campus wide. So those are some of the exciting elements. And I can give you a lot of different details on some of the things. I shared a number of them with you already, but there's more.
Well, so the concept and theme of our show really centers on, people stepping into their purpose and being able to project their own grandeur, and maybe if they haven't even become that person yet, but learning how to project that outward. Like as you think about grandeur in your role as a leader, like what does that mean to you?
What I try to embody is that sense of commitment to higher education overall, student success, amplifying research, societal impact, community engagement, and working towards the common good. I would say those are, every higher education administrator leader does that, but we all do it a little bit differently. For me, I like to bring this inductive approach. How can we already build upon the momentum and the excellence that's already there and potentially untapped? And I care deeply about, one of the themes, the Family Matters theme, it's a research theme, but it also has an element to it that relates to our lives, our work life balance, the way that we show up at work, and that sense of wellness and the understanding that we are these holistic leaders, and everyone who comes here and serves, regardless of your position, you are in some position of leadership. But we come here with an entire set of experiences. And so as the dean, I try to respect every unique um, every unique element of our team members and think about how can I help embed more wellness. And ultimately, Ron, what I really care about is bringing people together so that we have a tightly knit community where we trust each other, where some of the decisions that I make, sometimes are not popular, but people trust me and know that I am working for the benefit of the college overall. And I try to bring in um, initiatives and opportunities and for us to create joy with each other. And I even tasked my events team, like think with the staff resource, the staff council, what can we do to spark joy for each other at our work? And so we have identified a number of service opportunities that we're going to work on, social events. We already do a lot of that. We do like minute to win it games and kind of some silly things just to come together. So I would say, to come back to your answer, when I think about that, stepping into one's potential, it involves both those everyday elements of how I show up at work, having a sense of care and empathy for everyone that I serve. And then also thinking about this in a broad sense, like how can we all contribute uniquely in order to really fulfill the mission of our college?
Yeah, yeah, I like that. You've already given me so much, and you've already given, well, not me, but you've already done so much in the time that you've been here. So tell me, like, as you think of the next few years, are there, two or three really ambitious goals or big bets that you're working towards that you're able to publicly share with us?
Well, the College of Social Behavioral Science has award-winning faculty members, and I think that there are many emerging early career faculty members that will aspire and achieve some of that national recognition. And so I have hired so many faculty, over 20 faculty members in the time that I've been here. And my dream would be to see them become tenured, really blossom in their, mentor them, and and provide the resources that they need so that they can really reach their full potential. That would be one thing. And then supporting the initiatives that are still budding. So this School of Public Affairs, for example, I'm currently working with the president on an 8-figure gift to name that School of Public Affairs. So that is a big dream for me, but we're making headway on it, and can't say all that much about it, but it's moving along. I'm very delighted about that. And then in terms of the research, the work that our faculty members are doing, it's featured in the news. It's making a difference. As our responsible AI initiative continues to roll out, I mean, that technology is changing so quickly. The way that we respond to it, engage with it, building our students' capacities and having that become another methodological approach that they bring to understanding their data, that is very exciting for me. So, I mean, I don't see these necessarily as aspirational. I do see these as, tangible. And I think that there have been some already wonderful successes that I just hope will continue to grow and amplify.
Yeah, I love this. Well, last question for you, talking about kind of legacy. You know,
Okay.
what do you hope, to leave the college? Wait, if that day comes, like, what do you hope that you leave behind at the college to make, your impact on that broader academic landscape? Like, what do you want to leave behind, Michelle?
Well, I came to the University of Utah from the National Science Foundation, where I led a number of different programs that were really concerned with not just advancing the research, but really thinking about public impact. And that's one of the reasons why I was hired here at the University of Utah. I mean, many people don't know that Salt Lake City is incredibly diverse. There is a huge emerging demographic pool of students that in 5 years will be looking at the University of Utah, but will also be heavily recruited by other very prestigious research and liberal arts institutions. And they'll have a number of different choices. So for me, as I sit here as dean of the college, I really see that part of that legacy will be having created the kinds of structures where students can see themselves and see that they belong here, where we have culturally relevant programming, where we have mentorship structures in place, ample scholarships to support their financial needs, and the kinds of academic programs that continue to be very enriching for them, not only for their professional formation, but also to provide them with a set of questions that will prepare them to tackle the greatest social challenges that our society will continue to face. And some of those questions, we don't even know what they are, but I think our students will be very well prepared. And so those are some of my big aims, being nimble and in a way so that students continue to come here and have a great experience, and so that faculty can continue to thrive and build upon their research and their commitment to our doctoral graduate students and undergraduate populations.
Yeah, I think that would be nice and a good message. But listen, it has been an absolute honor to talk to you. You are such an inspiration. You are so, I don't even, I've had the privilege of seeing you in action, and you are just so good at making people feel comfortable and collaborative. And it's just truly inspiring to talk to you. So thank you for taking time out of your day. I know it's incredibly busy to
Well,
join.
this has been so delightful. Thank you so much. I actually was thinking about some of the things that you might have asked me, and it was really a wonderful opportunity for me to be reflexive about my leadership trajectory and the values that inform my approach, and also reflecting a little bit about what we've been able to accomplish and looking ahead to hopefully a bright and prosperous future here at the University of Utah. And I have to sign off by giving you the U as an alum of the University of Utah and of our college. Thank you for everything that you do, and go Utah.
Go Utah. And everyone else, keep projecting your grandeur. I will add all of Michelle's socials so you can make sure to follow all the amazing things that she is doing and that the university is doing, and keep projecting that grandeur. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.